All right, so in our last Who is the Antichrist video, we established, based on Daniel chapter 11, verse 37, that the Antichrist, when he comes, if he's not already here, is going to be Jewish. And that's actually the wrong way of saying it. He's going to be Israelite, meaning he's going to be descended from one of the 12 tribes of Israel. So what would be an interesting exercise, I think, is to see if we can hone in on the actual tribe. So most of you know probably that there are 10 lost tribes of Israel, which, on its face creates an issue for us, because if the Antichrist is from one of those 10 tribes, then where are they? I mean, they have to be somewhere, right? But that's, getting ahead of our story here a little bit. Anyways, did you know that the first prophecy of the Antichrist, brace yourselves, is actually way back in the book of Genesis? In fact, all the way back at the very beginning in the Garden of Eden, before Adam and Eve have even been kicked out. Genesis chapter 3, verses 14 and 15, God is pronouncing the curse on Satan, which in verse 14 you'll see here, God refers to as the serpent, or the Bible refers to as the serpent. So reading further, verse 15, what it says, I want to make sure I quote it right, is, "And I, God, will put enmity, make an enemy of, between you, the serpent, and the woman," which we would assume here is Eve, "and between your seed and her seed, and he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." So this is fascinating stuff. So the word seed here in Hebrew is actually zera, and that means sperm or semen, right? So most scholars believe that this is actually the first prophecy about Mary and the Immaculate Conception, because again it says her seed. Women don't have seed; they don't have sperm, semen. So again, prophecy of actually, the true Christ. When he comes, this will be 4,000 years later. But what's interesting here is that God doesn't just say her seed, as in Mary, Immaculate Conception, but your seed to the serpent. So that opens up a whole other can of worms. But the point is that this is definitely referring to the progeny in whatever sort of Satan himself. Notice the two key points here: serpent, and you shall bruise his heel. So Jesus will bruise the Antichrist's head, meaning an attack or damage to his authority. The Antichrist will bruise the heel of Jesus. That means in antiquity, the heel is like the weakest part of the body. Think of like Achilles' heel. So the Antichrist will damage or go after the weakest part of the body of Christ. But remember those two, serpent and bruise the heel. And in our next video, we're going to use that to figure this out. Which tribe does he come from? Stay tuned.